You're working harder than your parents ever did, but you're broker than they were at your age. Why? Because you're caught in 10 invisible traps designed to keep you poor. The rich know about these traps, and they avoid them like the plague. Trap number 7 is so sneaky, you probably fell for it this morning without even realizing it, and it's costing you thousands every single month. By the end of this video, you'll see exactly why you're stuck and how to escape. But I've got to warn you, some of these truths are going to sting. Here's a fact that should terrify you. 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Not because they're lazy, not because they don't work hard, but because they're making the exact same 10 mistakes over and over again. And here's the kicker. The wealthy used to make these same mistakes. But they learned, they adjusted, they escaped. These aren't small mistakes. These are wealth-destroying, future-killing, dream-crushing financial traps. And every single day you stay in them, you fall further behind. Let's expose every single one. Trap number 1. The payment trap. And this one keeps more people poor than anything else. Walk into a car dealership and ask the price. The salesman doesn't say $35,000. He says, only $499 a month. You just got trapped. Rich people ask, what's the total cost? Poor people ask, what's the monthly payment? Here's the psychology. When you think in payments, you don't feel the pain of the real cost. A $35,000 car stretched over 72 months at 7% interest. You just paid $42,700. That's $7,700 extra, gone forever. But it gets worse. The payment mindset trains your brain to think you can afford anything as long as the monthly number sounds reasonable. Phone, $50 a month. Car, $500 a month. Furniture, $100 a month. Streaming services, $80 a month. Before you know it, you've got $1,500 in monthly payments strangling your income. You can't invest, you can't save, you can't breathe. Meanwhile, rich people buy assets that create monthly payments coming in: rental properties, dividend stocks, businesses. The reality check: if you can't afford to buy it twice, you can't afford it once. The rich know this. That's why they drive 7-year-old cars while building million-dollar investment portfolios. Trap number 2. The lifestyle inflation trap. You get a raise. Finally. You've been working your butt off. You deserve to celebrate, right? So you upgrade your apartment, lease a nicer car, start eating out more, buy better clothes. After all, you're making more money now. Congratulations. You just trapped yourself. Here's what the rich do when they get a raise. They act like it never happened. That extra $500 a month, straight into investments. Automatic, non-negotiable. Studies show that for every dollar increase in salary, the average person increases their spending by 90 cents. You're literally working harder to stay exactly as broke as you were before. The rich increase their income and decrease their lifestyle expenses. Sounds backwards, right? That's because it is, for poor people. Warren Buffett still lives in the house he bought in 1958 for $31,500. He's worth over $100 billion. Mark Zuckerberg drove a Honda Fit when he was already a billionaire. They understand something you don't. Every dollar you spend on lifestyle is a dollar that can't compound into wealth. The reality check. The next time you get a raise, pretend you didn't. Keep living on your old salary and invest the difference. In 10 years, you'll be wealthy. Or ignore this and stay broke forever. Your choice. Trap number 3 is going to make some of you angry. The credit score obsession trap. You've been told your entire life that a good credit score is essential. You need it to buy a house, get a car, rent an apartment. And you know what? That's exactly what the banks want you to believe. Here's the dirty secret. Your credit score measures one thing: how good you are at borrowing money and paying interest. That's it. It's not a measure of wealth. It's a measure of how profitable you are to lenders. Rich people have terrible credit scores because they don't borrow money. They pay cash. And when they do borrow, it's for assets that make them money, not liabilities that drain them. But you're getting store credit cards to build credit. You're keeping a balance for your score. You're paying interest to prove you're a good debt slave. Meanwhile, that interest is compounding against you. The average American pays $115 per year in credit card interest alone. Over 30 years at 8% investment returns, that's $140,000 you just gave to banks. The reality check: stop worshiping your credit score. The rich don't care about credit scores, they care about net worth. Pay off your debt, build an emergency fund, and buy things with money you actually have. Revolutionary concept, I know. Trap number 4, the financial advisor. Trap: You think you need an expert to manage your money. Makes sense, right? You wouldn't do your own surgery, so why manage your own investments? Here's what they don't tell you. Most financial advisors are salespeople in disguise. They charge 1% to 2% of your assets every year. Doesn't sound like much, right? Wrong. That fee will cost you hundreds of thousands over your lifetime. Let's do the math. You invest $500,000 over 30 years. At 8% returns, with no fees, you'd have $5.6 million. With a 1.5% advisor fee, you'd have $3.8 million. You just gave your advisor $1.8 million for picking the same index funds you could have picked yourself in 20 minutes. But it gets worse. Many advisors get commissions for selling you specific products. They're incentivized to sell you what makes them the most money, not what's best for you. Warren Buffett's advice to his wife when he dies? Put everything in a low-cost S&P 500 index fund, not with an advisor. DIY. The rich either manage their own money or they pay for fee-only fiduciary advisors who are legally required to act in their best interest, and they pay them a flat fee, not a percentage. The reality check. Learn basic investing. It takes one weekend. Put your money in low-cost index funds. Save yourself millions. The advisor industry doesn't want you to know how simple it actually is. Trap number 5 sounds responsible, but it's keeping you poor. The emergency fund illusion. You've been told to keep 6 months of expenses in a savings account for emergencies. Sounds smart, but here's what's really happening. Your money is dying. The average savings account pays 0.5% interest. Inflation is running at 3.4%. You're losing 3.5% of your purchasing power every single year. A $20,000 emergency fund? In 10 years it has the buying power of $14,000. You just lost $6,000 doing the responsible thing. But here's the real trap. Opportunity cost. That $20,000 in the stock market averaging 10% annually. It becomes $51,875 in 10 years. You didn't just lose $6,000 to inflation. You lost $31,875 in potential gains. Now, don't get me wrong, you need an emergency fund, but the rich don't keep it rotting in a savings account. They keep 1 to 2 months in high-yield savings, at least 4 to 5% interest. The rest, in liquid investments they can access if needed, money market funds, treasury bills, even taxable brokerage accounts. They understand the difference between accessible and liquid versus locked away. The reality check, keep $2,000, $5,000 in a high-yield savings account for immediate emergencies. The rest of your emergency fund? Invest it. If a real emergency hits, you can access it in 3 business days. Stop letting fear cost you wealth. Trap number 6. The tax refund celebration trap. I got a $3,000 tax refund. I'm treating myself. No, you just got scammed by yourself. A tax refund isn't free money. It's your money that you overpaid to the government, and they're returning it to you with 0 interest after holding it hostage for a year. You just gave the IRS an interest-free loan. Congratulations. Here's what that actually cost you. That $3,000 spread over 12 months is $250 a month. If you'd invested that $250 monthly at 8% returns, you'd have $3,124 at year end, not $3,000. Over 10 years, you lost $17,500 in potential gains by overpaying your taxes. But poor people see tax refunds as forced savings. Rich people see them as financial incompetence. The rich adjust their W-4 to get as close to 0 refund as possible. Then they invest that money monthly and let it compound. They also understand something you don't. The tax code is written by the rich for the rich. There are hundreds of legal deductions and strategies the wealthy use to pay less tax. Real estate depreciation, business expenses, retirement accounts, health savings accounts, charitable trusts. The average millionaire pays 15 to 20% effective tax rate. You? Probably 25-30%. They know the rules. You don't. The reality check. Adjust your withholding so you owe $0 or get a tiny refund. Then hire a CPA, not TurboTax, to find legal deductions. That $500 investment in a good accountant could save you $5,000 in taxes. Trap number 7 is the one I warned you about, the convenience trap, and you fell for it today. You ordered coffee at Starbucks, got lunch delivered, grabbed a snack at the gas station, bought something on Amazon because it was just $25. Each one is small, convenient, harmless, and they're bleeding you dry. The average American spends $3,000 a year on coffee, $2,400 on lunch, $1,800 on delivery fees, $240 on impulse purchases under $50. That's $7,440 a year on convenience. Over 30 years invested at 8%, that's $840,000. You just traded millionaire status for lattes and DoorDash. But here's the psychological trap. Small purchases don't trigger your pain response. Your brain doesn't care about $6 for coffee. It cares about $30,000 for a car. So you avoid the big purchase and make the small purchase 5,000 times instead. Death by 1,000 conveniences. Rich people batch their decisions. They meal prep on Sunday. They make coffee at home. They buy in bulk. Not because they can't afford convenience, because they understand compound cost. Every dollar wasted on convenience is a dollar that can't compound into freedom. The reality check. Track every purchase under $50 for 1 month. You'll be horrified. Then cut the convenience spending by 50% and automate that money into investments. That's your retirement right there. Trap number 8, the brand loyalty trap. You only buy Nike, you only drink Coke, you only shop at Whole Foods, you're loyal, and brands are laughing all the way to the bank. Here's what's happening. You're paying 30-50% more for a logo. The product is often identical, made in the same factory as the generic version. Generic drugs. Same active ingredient as name brand, 80% cheaper. Store brand groceries, same manufacturer, different label, 40% less. Off-brand electronics, same components, half the price. But you won't buy them because you've been marketed to your entire life. You've been trained to associate brands with status, quality, and identity. Rich people laugh at this. They buy Costco brand everything and invest the savings. Here's the math. The average family spends $300 more per month on brands versus generics. That's $3,600 a year. Over 30 years invested, $407,000. You literally gave $500,000 to corporations for the privilege of advertising their logo. Meanwhile, the CEO of those brands is buying generic and investing the difference. The rich understand, brands don't make you wealthy, assets make you wealthy. The reality check. This month, buy generic for everything except the 3 things you genuinely care about. Invest the savings. In 1 year, you'll have $3,600 in your investment account, and you'll realize you can't taste the difference. Trap number 9, the sale trap. And this one tricks even smart people. It's 50% off, I'm saving so much money. No, you're spending money you weren't going to spend. Savings means keeping money. You didn't save anything, you spent it. Here's the psychology. Retailers mark up items 100%, then put them on sale for 40% off. You think you got a deal. You paid exactly what they wanted, but even if the sale is real, you still lose, because you bought something you didn't need, using money that could have been invested. A $200 jacket on sale for $100. You didn't save $100, you spent $100. That $100 invested monthly for a year at 8% becomes $1,276 in 10 years. Poor people buy things they don't need with money they don't have because it's on sale. Rich people only buy what they need when they need it at the best price, sale or not. Here's the ultimate test. If you wouldn't buy it at full price, you don't actually want it. The discount is manipulating you. The reality check. For every deal you're tempted by, ask, would I buy this at full price? If no, walk away and invest that money instead. Your future self will thank you. Trap number 10 is the biggest lie you've been told. The retirement trap. You've been programmed to work for 40 years, save in a 401k, and retire at 65. And if you follow that plan, you'll die broke. Here's why. The 401k system was never designed to fund your retirement. It was designed to shift retirement risk from companies to you. You're contributing 6%. Your employer matches 3%. You think you're on track. You're not. Fidelity estimates you need 10x your final salary saved to retire. If you make $75,000, isa den my tid says a nine, when there's a nine that's and dimes. $750,000. The average 401k balance at age 65, $232,000. You're gonna run out of money at 78 and work at Walmart until you die. But here's the real trap. You're locked into their timeline. You can't access that money until 5912 without penalties. Your money is in prison for 30, 40 years. Rich people don't do 401ks, or they max them out and invest heavily outside of them in taxable brokerage accounts, real estate, and businesses. They build multiple income streams. They don't wait until 65. They retire at 45, 50, 55, whenever they hit their number. Financial independence isn't about age, it's about assets producing income that exceeds your expenses. The reality check. Yes, contribute enough to get your employer match. That's free money. But don't stop there. Open a taxable brokerage account. Invest in index funds. Build side income. Create freedom, not dependency on a system designed to keep you working until you're too old to enjoy life. So, there they are, the 10 financial traps keeping you poor, the payment trap, the lifestyle inflation trap, the credit score obsession trap, the financial advisor trap, the emergency fund illusion trap, the tax refund celebration trap, the convenience trap, the brand loyalty trap, the sale trap, the retirement trap. Here's the truth. These traps aren't accidents, they're designed by banks, by corporations, by a system that profits from keeping you broke. But now you know. And knowledge without action is useless. Pick one trap you're caught in. Just one, and escape it this week. Next week, pick another. In 10 weeks, you'll be free of all of them, and for the first time in your life, you'll actually be building wealth instead of transferring it to people richer than you. The rich aren't smarter than you. They just know which traps to avoid. Now you do too. Your move. If this video just saved you thousands, hit that like button. Subscribe for more financial truth bombs that actually change lives, and comment below, which trap are you escaping first? I read every comment, now go break free.